What's going on, guys? Jacob Ober here, coming to you with my instant reactions to Bucks versus Magic Game 5. The Bucks take this one, 118 to 104. They take the series 4-1 over the Orlando Magic, and they will move on to the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs to take on the Miami Heat. So this game, Giannis finishes with, I believe, 28 points. He hit 3 threes as well. Chris Middleton finishes with 21, almost a triple-double. I think it was Marvin Williams off the bench had a fantastic game as well for the Bucks, hitting 4 threes, including 2 really big ones in the fourth quarter. But really, I didn't really feel like this game was ever much in doubt for the Bucks. There was a point in the fourth quarter where the Magic made it close, made it a 3-point game. But really, I mean, the Bucks almost immediately went on like a 10-0 run after that to pretty much put the game away. The Bucks clearly the superior team to the Magic, and they did what we all really wanted them to do after that Game 1 loss. It was pretty disappointing to see that Game 1 loss, but the Bucks bounced back about the best way that the Bucks could have, and that was winning 4 consecutive games in at least mildly convincing fashion. They weren't perfect in any of them, but they managed to take care of an opponent that they should take care of. You have to give credit to the Magic as well. I mean, the Magic certainly played well enough to compete with Milwaukee. Ultimately, they didn't have enough firepower, and the Bucks are the number 1 seed in the league for a reason. But the Magic did play really well, and they did test the Bucks at times. The Magic had a pretty stingy defense at times in this game. They were able to hit a lot more threes than I expected them to. This was a test for Milwaukee. It really was a test that I did not expect them to have so early in the postseason. But in a way, this could be good for them. This series kind of showed them, hey, we are not invincible. We're not, we can't sleepwalk our way through the playoffs like we did in the seeding games. And I think they kind of woke up after that first game, because that first game, you really look at it, and the Bucks just weren't playing with the same level of intensity that they played in the next 4 games. That was my number 1 concern following Game 1, and the Bucks corrected it as soon as Games 2 started. I mean, you saw right away the Bucks, especially on the defensive end, really came out with a lot of purpose, a lot of intensity, and they just kind of set the tone for the rest of the series right then and there. So, really, this was overall, I'm not disappointed that the Bucks didn't sweep the Magic. It's basketball. Weird games happen, and that's kind of what happened in Game 1. And the Bucks, like I said, they kind of sleepwalked their way through it. So this could have been a wake-up call for them. We all remember last year the Toronto Raptors against the same Magic team lost the first game of the series and ended up winning 4 in a row to go on to the second round, and then ended up winning the NBA Finals that year. So, I don't really think it should be much of a concern. I don't think the Bucks should be, punished or anything like that for losing the first game of the series. I don't think they should be taken any less seriously than they were before the postseason started, or even before the seeding game started. So, they did what they needed to do, and I'm happy about that. But looking ahead to the Heat series, I think the Heat, it's really close for me between the Heat and the Raptors, who the biggest threat to the Bucks are. But I might have to lean Raptors on this just because their defense is so good. But the Heat have a very similar defense, and they have a lot of the tools that are able to stop a player like Giannis, and they have the 3-point shooting as well. The Heat were the second best 3-point shooting team in the league this season, and the Bucks are a team that gives up a lot of threes. They count on their opponents to miss threes, and sometimes that strategy is very, very frustrating. And I hope the Bucks are able to kind of adjust their strategy defensively in the series against the Heat. But the Heat, they are very, very physical. They play very, very hard. They have a lot of guys who can score. And, of course, their interior defense is very, very good as well. So this is probably the second best, or the second toughest matchup for the postseason for the Bucks. And if I'm being honest, looking at the way things could shape out for the Bucks, I would say that Magic, Heat, Raptors, and Lakers would probably be the toughest 4-series stretch the Bucks could have on their way to a championship this season. And it's kind of shaping up like that. If the Raptors beat the Celtics and the Bucks beat the Heat, you're going to have Bucks versus Raptors in the conference finals in a rematch of last year. And if the Lakers can hold on against the Trailblazers, I think they're up 3-1 now, If they advance to the finals, it's going to be that order of series for the Bucks if they want to win the title this year, and that's really really challenging for them. But you know, they were tested against Orlando. Maybe they can do it, and I do believe that they can beat the Heat. I certainly do. They have all the tools they need to do it. But the Heat, if they play at the highest possible level the Heat can play, and the Bucks aren't up to the challenge, then the Bucks will lose the series against the Heat. And we cannot take this team lightly because the Heat are a very big challenge. We saw them in the regular season, though. The Heat beat the Bucks twice during the regular season, and then once, or actually no, the Bucks won the seeding game. But the Heat were up against the Bucks, and they didn't have Butler and I think Dragic in that game either. So it's going to be a big challenge for the Bucks. It's gonna be a really big challenge, and if they can come out of this Heat series with a win, a series win, then I do believe that they will win the finals. But they're gonna have to show up, and they're gonna have to play with maybe even more intensity than they did against the Magic, because this is a team that can actually beat the Bucks, and I am worried about this series. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the series. I really am excited for the series. With the Magic series, it's been a little bit more difficult to get into it, knowing that the Bucks were going to end up winning the series, even after Game 1, But with the Heat, I'm going to be into this series. I'm going to be you might see a car rant video for me. I don't know. You might see, me just, in one of those videos where I'm, like, celebrating and getting all happy and stuff. It's been kind of monotonous for this first series against the Magic, I understand, because it's just been kind of me trying to tell you what's happened, and it's not really me getting very excited about it, because I know that this Bucks team was going to be able to beat the Magic. But the Heat series, this is where the Bucks really have to prove their worth, and let's hope they're up to the test, because I think they are. But anyways, guys, well, that's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Obersports41512. Actually, no, I changed my ad. It's at Obersports. And then on Instagram, username Jacob_Ober. And I'll see you guys next time. Fear the deer.